Hello, interwebs. Hi. My name is Lisa Suela. I live on the Berkeley Hill in the Bay Area of California, and I've been a vegetarian since I was born. And so I haven't used any of those food service programs really until I saw Thistle. And I got $100 off for the first month, and this is our experience. There's two of us in the house, and we're trying Thistle for a month and plan to have a very detailed upfront picture of what that experience is like. Um, so we are picky foodies, and we have always been into healthy eating. So this isn't about eating healthier, it's about being lazy and also curious. So we are trying to order about 150-ish or 100-ish dollars a week in thistle food. And hopefully we will be cooking like maybe one or two actual meals per week. So that was the idea. In actual fact, what happened is Thistle arrived extremely promptly and delivered us a big green bag with the giant ice bags inside, which kind of froze the bottom greens a little bit. But we had picked it up about 10 minutes after it was delivered. So it comes at like 8 in the morning in our case. And we, at like 8:10, we were picking it up, put it in our fridge. We thought it looked fantastic. And in fact, it did. 4 hours later, we had our first lunch. It was at 12:30, about 4.5 hours later, I guess. And it was the Beet poke bowl, where they substitute, in our case, always, we don't really like tofu, having had so much of it growing up. So they substituted fresh peas. It was delicious. And we thought it was a really nice salad. It had kind of wilted spring mix, and it was only 4.5 hours old. So some of it needed to be picked out. But, disclaimer, we often do this. The rice was a little bit underdone, maybe, but it was really good flavor. And we, figured that it was really smart that we had that on Wednesday, like right away, as soon as it turned up, because there's no way that salad mix was going to last for many more days for us. But keep in mind, I pick out everything really like slimy or too dark green, and the big long stems that look a little wilty, or anything that's less than I tend to pick out. So we also had a Kale Caesar, which we thought was really good. It came with yeast on top, nutritional yeast, so you pour it over and you mix it up. I did not find that it was a full-on meal size, but it was a very generous side dish. And I think you would maybe want to add a soup to have it be a full meal, or ideally, I think what we figured out is that we need to get a single main, because 2 mains is too much for us. It's actually a substantial portion. And they run around $13 or $14 here at this time in our year of close to, like, this is September of 2022. So what we decided we would try to do, Thistle's website makes it really easy to alter your menus, is to get a main dinner and a couple sides and or soups, both to give more variety and to try more things, and also because it is too much of the same flavor to just do such a huge single bowl meal. So I might suggest that if you're a big eater, possibly you can do a main dinner and something else, but it's a lot of garbanzo beans in our case, because they substitute out the tofu. So that night we had a Risotto Verde dinner. I'm going to show stills in this video. Hopefully they will come through properly. This is my first video in my first video program, trying to do video editing, so I hope it works out okay. We cooked it like they told us to. We added a little garlic because it smelled a little bit, more bland. then we added a little bit of extra olive oil to the pan. It is a big portion, and we did not find, although this is typical of us, we did not find it to be a risotto. We found it to be a really delicious, not pasta. It is and not rice. It is actually Banza chickpea rice, and it totally works. I would highly recommend most of their Banza rice faux pasta. However, it does not cut it for being either rice or pasta. It's a different thing, and it is very delicious. So I really liked that. Again, we would have preferred to not have gotten 2 of those, but to have gotten 1 and to have had other things on the side. So highly recommend that. On day 2, we got a Greek salad that we just finished eating just now. It had substituted out the tofu for yet more garbanzo beans, and that is now garbanzo beans times 3. And it was extremely vinegary, and oh my goodness, but by day 2, a lot of that lettuce really had to be picked through. I have a still shot I'll put in here that'll show you how much we picked out. I'm sure many less picky eaters would love to eat it just like it is. And we realized that one of our vegan items that we had ordered came with pulled chicken by accident. We didn't order it. We double checked. And so I emailed the lovely people there, and they were very responsive. There's an auto mail that comes first, and then they credited us for that meal, the $12 that meal was, and also gave us a $10 credit because it was kind of gross for us since we aren't like Chris hasn't eaten meat or chicken in I think 25 years. We've been married 22, and like I've never had it. So we picked it all out. It was challenging to pick it all out. And we don't waste food around here as much as possible, except for the lettuce I'm picking out. And we put it in the backyard last night, in the middle of the night. And we believe that the possums, the skunks, and the raccoons had their choice at it. And certainly this morning it was eaten up, and it did look to be like high quality chicken if you were going to pay the extra couple bucks to add an animal product to your vegan otherwise food. It looked like a solid plan and a very generous portion of that. The crispy garbanzo beans that go in that particular Greek salad were awesome. They are a lovely snack. You know, they're dry, they're really crispy, they're probably done in a bunch of oil. And they were really nice. However, the one with chili, the chili that came with chicken, was called Chili Limon and Cilantro Salad Bowl. And we had to cook it for quite a while. It has potatoes in it. And they were really nice. It has corn and black beans and stuff. And that might have really made it until Wednesday. But those 2 salads, we wish we had eaten before. So I think one of the first real takeaways we have, besides Thistle being pretty cool about responding to difficulties, is that you really want to order your salads and eat them the same, like right away. The first day, eat your salads, and the second day, expect to get salads that you're going to pick a little bit of stuff out. You look on the bottom and you can see which things have to go. Or you're very intrepid and you like things that are more the texture of seaweed, go for it. So we would like to say a little thing about flatulence and a vegan lifestyle. Having been vegetarian since birth, we eat a lot of the sort of indigestible starches that cause this problem. And you do become accustomed, but a lot of folks who might be starting Thistle to have a better diet and have a very easy, healthy, nutritionist-formed, plant-heavy nutrition source might find that the transition is a little bit alarming. And certainly had we actually finished the garbanzo beans times 3 that were in that Greek salad because we substituted out the tofu, if we'd eaten all those garbanzo beans, some of which were slightly undercooked, Ooh, I think we would have had quite a little thing to mention. Okay, so the last little bit at the end of our day 2 of Thistle is that we are finding that the single biggest thing that will stop us from using Thistle is that even though Thistle says they're working on it and they're using the best plastic they can, this is 2 days worth of plastic PET, in theory recyclable containers that in our town of Berkeley, California, which is fairly aggressively targeting things like plastics, we have trouble. You can put it in your bin, but we call it wish cycling because we wish that it was recycled, but it actually really is only recycled when our town happens to have a contract with a plastic buyer, and that is just not happening very much these days. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about how plastic recycling was really sold to us by the plastic industry and how we need to use less of it. So hopefully Thistle will get reusable glass jars or something like that. I understand there's a lot of difficulties with that when you're running a commercial endeavor and you're taking things back from the public, so it has to be sterilized up to a certain standard, and that might be a whole different thing for their facility. However, it will stop a lot of us in areas where we are particularly concerned about our plastic use from generating just this much plastic in 2 days. Also keep in mind, this is 2 days worth of food, yet tonight we plan to have 2 of the soups that come frozen from Thistle, and there's 2 additional containers that are going to be added to this pile. Now, the bags that they have that are insulated that come with the ice packs, those are reusable. You put them on your porch and they will reuse them. They looked new when we got ours, so I'm not sure how long they reuse them, but at least it's not a single-use experience. So that's nice. 2 dishes to try left of our day 2 experiment with Thistle, and Thai carrot squash soup. This one I'm going to bring Chris in to also review since we have just finished eating it.
Hi.
This says a silky puree of carrots and beans brought to life with a bright dose of lemongrass, ginger, and lime. And from us, I think it gets 2 thumbs down.
Well, okay. So if you wanted it to be silky, it's not silky.
Not silky.
It's lumpy.
Quite lumpy. Pleasantly lumpy.
Yeah. Not unpleasant, but not silky. And bright dose of lemongrass, ginger, and
sour.
I would say, yeah, sour.
I'm not
too sour. I don't mind a little.
I'm thinking a carrot soup, a Thai thing. There's no coconut in it. It felt healthy and good ingredients.
Oh yeah, sure. I don't.
We did eat most of it.
Oh, yeah.
But Chris will eat almost anything that isn't really over the hill. So, even though he's got a very discerning palate, he's just willing to do it.
I'm willing to survive a siege.
So, vegan, gluten-free, and dairy-free, I understand. Coconut could have helped it, maybe. When I think carrots, I do think something that offers a little bit of sweetness and depth. Yeah. Maybe some, and for me, this came across as a sour, lumpy soup with about half of the tiny little black lentils that were in it being actually crunchy to get through, which to me means I really like all of my legumes to be extremely well cooked so that they are not digestively difficult.
Yeah, they don't have to be mush, but
no,
they should be distinctly cooked.
Not crunchy. So I think if we had doctored this up, we could have improved it, but that was a lot of lemongrass to get through with any other flavor. On the other hand, maybe their batches vary, and maybe you will love it.
Yeah, I would say of the dishes we had, this is the only one that I would say, yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah. So 2 thumbs down is a first for us out of our 2 days. And later tonight, or maybe tomorrow.
This one's still Schrodinger's thumb.
We will be doing sweet potato corn chowder. And since it's still light out and there's still a couple hours to consider dinner, we will do that when it happens. What I'd like to say, in part is that I do think that even with our fairly healthy diet, usually we are eating a little bit healthier in that we are spacing it out a little bit. We're eating these smaller portions at once when we cook at home ourselves. We certainly have a lot more mess in the kitchen This is just like a pan,
Yeah. One pan.
spatula, something.
Some plates.
And so it's not like completely mess free, but we have been eating like the salads mostly out of the plastic dishes.
Out of their bowls.
I also forgot to say that on that Greek salad that was all the garbanzo beans, they also said that it could be served hot. And it is called a salad, and it felt sort of like a tabbouleh meets Greek salad. I did try to cook some of it, and I forgot to mention that earlier in the video, and it was interesting hot. You said you preferred it cold.
I prefer it cold. I prefer it as a salad, but
it was also a little on the
interesting.
Sour side. I think I might have preferred it hot, but it was fascinating to me that particular salad was, hey, have it either way. I only took like a quarter of my stuff and had it.
It is a thing. You could always fry your salad.
So, I think about salad in a blender. So,
kale smoothie, you know.
So, we didn't try any of the thistle juices. But what I will say that by day 2 here, we are feeling the lack, even though for breakfasts we have been having leftover, extremely like healthy whole wheat style waffle leftovers from the weekend for breakfast. And sometimes we have whole wheat toast with peanut butter and jam. So that starts our day. But we are not feeling like the desire to grab the ice cream at the very end, like of the day or of the meals, is less so, and also
yes, much less so.
Is it for you? You eat ice cream all the time, but
yeah.
We also tried
It's not gone yet, so.
The risotto like objects that we tried. We had some leftovers of, and we microwaved them, which is kind of silly to do with trying to be fancy food. But they were fine leftovers. So those garbanzo bean based pasta like things that they're doing,
I would call them orzo.
They did come across as an orzo, but they even reheat a second time pretty well. So there you go. We'll tell you about the corn chowder later, and that would be day 2.
Woohoo.